as your state auditor. We'll be happy to answer questions of the press and available afterwards if you'd like to do some one-on-ones.
What do you consider your biggest, you haven't been in the legislature that long, what do you consider your biggest accomplishment, and tell people who don't know anything about you why they should vote for you?
May I ask who you're with?
I'm Ohio Public Radio's Joe Ingles.
Excellent, thank you. I think the biggest accomplishment that I've had while serving in the Ohio House is serving as our caucus policy committee chairman, as well as taking the governor to task. And let me expound on those both for just a second. As policy chairman, we have been diligent in providing alternatives to the Democrat majority's proposals. And in fact, in many cases, we have kind of started the conversations, for example, on economic development. It was really only after our policy committee put together a plan for economic development that the Democrats responded on that issue. We've been very forthright about having some real solutions for Ohio's toughest challenges, and I think that has given me the opportunity to have a lot of broad experience on the whole gamut of public policy as our policy chairman. I think I will just point out the suit, not to dwell on it, but just as an example that regardless of first year in the legislature or not, regardless of who the office holder, i.e. the governor, who the office holder is, that my experience and my training has made it to where I fear the taxpayer most, I fear the principles that I believe in most. That leads me to be aggressive with other public officials who perhaps are not following Ohio law, as our governor was not at that point. And so I would list that not necessarily as an accomplishment, because it was an unfortunate situation that we had to deal with, but as an example of the type of leadership you'll continue to receive from the state auditor.
Your kind of advantage, especially in fundraising?
I think the auditor's office race has just become open for the GOP ticket. I supported Mary Taylor and still support Mary Taylor. So I think I'm the first out, actually, in the field, and we look forward to being the nominee on May 5th. We do have a mountain to climb. That mountain's big, and all I can tell you is that as we have worked diligently over the past week, starting first with my family and then with our core team, expanding into this grassroots organization throughout the state, and then working with folks who are willing to fund our campaign, I can tell you again that support is growing very quickly. We look forward to accomplishing what we need to between now and November to be a very serious candidate and expand on that contrast between David Pepper and myself.
Did you make your decision with state Republican Party leaders, and are they going to back you, or might we see another Republican jump in the race?
You will have to ask this, Kevin Wine that question. I can't speak for the state Republican leaders. Again, I would say that I'm proud to have the support of many Republican leaders as we continue to work on building this coalition. I mentioned several of those. Some state central committee members, some chairmen have already decided to join in our effort with us. We'll see what happens in the future. I'm frankly not too worried about who joins the primary. I look forward to a robust debate throughout this. If anyone joins the primary, we're going to focus on, again, the credentials that I bring that I think makes me uniquely qualified for this position. And we look forward to being the party's nominee, if not now, on May 5th, and moving on to November.
Did you talk to the chairman about your jumping in the race here?
Chairman DeWine and I have had several conversations.
And did he support you?
Chairman DeWine had several conversations. I think he did ask
the state party says that several candidates are in consideration for auditor on the Republican side. Do you anticipate a primary? Do you think there will be one?
You know, Bill, it's early again to try to determine whether or not that's actually going to happen. That is obviously up to the people who need to decide whether or not they're going to jump into this race. Again, we say we're excited about the race, and as people decide to join in the race, I'm willing to make the case for why I'm the best member of the GOP to carry the auditor's position on the ticket, and then move on to taking on David Pepper and his lack of qualifications for this job.
Rob says that the Tea Party movement is supporting you. How will that help you?
Well, throughout our career, Bill, I think, Bill, for those who don't know the daily news, and we've gotten into a form of friendship like this over the years, you've seen what we've done with the grassroots. The grassroots is an incredibly important part of our style. I do not, I say this carefully, I have much concern when political leaders are focused most on establishment politics and the big money game that goes on here in Columbus. I much prefer to associate myself with real people, the hardworking men and women of the state, who we've been pleased to have had the support of throughout the years, whether I was running for city council in Huber Heights, which we had a groundswell of grassroots then when I was 23, or whether I was running for state representative and the local Democrat Party threw the kitchen sink at me. What has always pulled us through is the hardworking men and women who are inspired by a conservative person who is willing to put themselves on the line as I am and willing to take on the status quo of government. We all know how abusive and overgrown and inefficient government has become, and I think the people of Ohio or the people of America, as represented this past Tuesday, are looking for people who stand up and say, we can't continue on this path, and the people are more important than the cronyism that takes place in state and national capitals across the U.S.
What do you think you need to do in the coming weeks to convince other Republican candidates that you're the guy and maybe they don't want to get into this race?
I think we're doing just what we need to do. We are building very quickly that grassroots support. We're building very quickly the financial level support, and we're enjoying the support of a growing list of Republican and conservative leaders throughout the state.